Hello everyone! Today is a very important day for our channel. This is a big top, please give like and subscribe, we will be working on this top for a whole week. Pleasant viewing. 100. Swords Curse, Janus. Action, Fantasy. He has been cursed to be lonely all his life, if he touches any female from 8 to 80. Even if it's just with his finger, they will fall instantly in love with him. Sun Lang stays strong and abides by the law. He swears to break his curse and regain his right to help old ladies across the street. '99. Ranker's Return Remake, Janus. Action, Adventure, Comedy, Fantasy, Shonen, Webtoons, Manhua. In the early days of the virtual reality game Arena, Milligard was the strongest ranked player. He deleted his character and suddenly left. In order to restore his bankrupt family, he returned to Arena. Do you want to create a character? '98. Wizard of Arsenia, Janus. Action, Adventure, Comedy, Shonen. If you wish to return, then you must find all the stones of the dragon's heart. And so Lee started his adventure to become an unparalleled mage. Which bones will he found? That's all up to him to discover. 97. Red Storm, Janus. Action, Adult, Adventure, Comedy, Drama, Fantasy, Martial Arts, Supernatural, Webtoons. Red Storm follows the life and experiences of Julian Provoke, the young glow of the Paria tribe, who dreams of becoming the most powerful warrior of the Red Desert. The early portions of the narrative focus on Julian Assembly Noya, a strong guy from another regiment, who instructs him a unique lifestyle and later becomes his expert. As the narrative advances, the manhwa tells of Julian's aim of developing a group of warriors powerful enough to fix any issue called Red Storm. 96. Limit Breaker, Janus. Action, Horror, Supernatural, Tragedy. Due to an unknown error, Kim Ki-bong was trapped in the waking dust for 3000 years. In the real world, 10 years have passed and it's overrun by monsters and dungeons. The battle new begins for Kim Ki-bong, who returned with the max level to restore the world back to the way it was. '95. Seoul Station Druid, Janus. Action, Fantasy, Sci-Fi, Shonen, Webtoons, Manhua. Park Soho returned to Earth after disappearing to another world for 1000 years. During that time, Earth has changed into a world of the survival of the fittest thanks to the appearance of monsters. Druid, the king of the animals, who had managed to survive for 1000 years, is now off to conquer the world. 94. The Book-Eating Magician. Genres: Action, Adventure, Fantasy. The unpresented magician who will eat all the magic books of the world has appeared. 93. I'm destined for greatness. Genres: Action, Fantasy, Shonen, Webtoons. When you succeed to everything you try, you have no choice but to seek challenge elsewhere, like in a game, by using the trash jobs that no one pays any attention to. With the right attitude, you're bound to accomplish your goals. Even succeeding at the most impossible for quests, the main character bets everything he has. With my skills, I'll beat this game. 92. Psycho Revenge. Genres: Action, Comedy, Drama. Sung Bin was ordinary, but after the death of his sister, he takes on the moniker of Neon Mask. As Neon Mask, he becomes a psycho streamer and wages war on all gangs. A debt of blood must be paid back in blood. To avenge my sister, I will create an ocean of blood. 91. City of the Sorcerer. Genres: Action, Comedy, Horror, Mystery, Sci-Fi, Seinen, Supernatural, Webtoons, Manhua. The world plunges into a development race to find uses of this new, seemingly automated source of energy that cannot be seen or felt. 16 years after the discovery, it's now the self-proclaimed age of magic, where you can download an app to your very phone and cast magic. 90. The world's greatest martial artist. Genres: Action, Adventure, Fantasy. The world's greatest martial artist, the Tianji Tower, which opened every 5 years, is about to open. People from all walks of life are disturbed by a mysterious slater. Wei Ji, Zhang Jian, Shen Teng, Murong Yu, and Louis Quiner have also returned to the arena. As masters from all walks of life surface, the whole arena becomes bloody. Regardless of the court of the two factions of righteous and evil in the arena, there is only purpose to win the order of Hyunwoo and find Hyunwoo. 89. The legendary Moonlight Sculptor. Genres: Action, Adventure, Comedy, Drama, Fantasy, Martial Arts, Romance. The man forsaken by the world, the man a slave to money and the man knows his legendary God of War in the highly popular MMORPG Continent of Magic. With the coming of age, he decides to say goodbye, but the feeble attempt to earn a little something for his time and effort ripples into an effect none could even have imagined. Though the series of coincidence, his legendary avatar is sold for 3 billion won, bringing great joy to him, only to plunge him into despair. Gaming, he rises from the abyss with a newfound resolve and steps forward into the new age of games, led by the first even virtual reality MMORPG Railroad. This is a legend of Lee Hyun, on his path to becoming emperor with only his family-loving heart, his boundless desire for money, his unexpected mind, his diligently forged body, and the talent of hard work making him. '88 Arcane Sniper, Genres, Action, Adventure, Fantasy. A series about a hyper-realistic fantasy game. '87 Rich Player, Genres, Action, Adventure, Fantasy, Webtoons. Action pretensions is his hobby. Being the ultimate rich player, he's used to spending expenses around others on the down low, having the most extravagant equipment and armor. In the gaming world, there is nothing that can be solved with money. '86 The Boxer, Genres, Action, Drama, Sport. An unimaginable talent without rivalry. Will it prove itself to be a blessing or a curse? '85 Get Shot You, Genres, Action, Drama, School Life, Seinen, Webtoons, Manhua. Huajinas teaching techniques are pretty violent for someone who works in the Ministry of Education. That being said, when punishments don't seem to work on even the worst of school bullies, there is no better man for the job. Sometimes you can get a good education until those bullies are taught a lesson. '84 Revival Man, Genres, Action, Drama, Martial Arts, Seinen, Supernatural, Webtoons, Manhua. A story of an unemployed man that revives after 3 days of being dead. Follow his action-packed encounter with a large criminal organization. '83 Otherworld Squad, genres: action, comedy, fantasy, webtoons. One day, a fantasy phenomenon began to occur in my ordinary life. An elf is hiding in my room. '82. Ranker who lives a second life. Genres: action, adventure, fantasy, webtoons. Yon Woo had a twin brother who disappeared 5 years ago. One day, a pocket watch left by his brother returned to his possession. Inside, he found a hidden diary in which was recorded, "By the time you hear this, I guess I will be already dead." '81. Muhyang Dark Lady. Genres: fantasy, webtoons. Demon Muhyang unfortunately falls to a strange fantasy world by the magic of his enemies, School of Blood Arts. In the new world of elf, sorcerer, knight and dragon, Muhyang's adventure of finding a way back to his old world unfolds. Number 80. Android Have No Blood. Genres: action, adventure. High-tech android AI gets into the world of martial arts due to crash landing and dimensional shift. Although he can cook food for the hungry, he will not even eat a piece himself. He will help people in danger, but his will never kill them. He never sleeps and never gets tired. People take him for a great hero. Let's look at the adventures of a robot, a hero in the world of martial arts. '79. Yarnak. Genres: action, adventure, fantasy, shonen, manhua. Novice gamer Young Sin Yu, who finds himself sucked into a game world several years in the past, attempts to make the most of his wealth of knowledge, to survive in a world unwittingly bracing for a huge war. '78. Memorize. Genres: action, adventure, fantasy, mystery, romance, seinen, webtoons, manhua. Korea first ever web novel of the Another World genre, Memorize. The legend has returned in webtoons form. Hell playing a different world from Earth. After being discharged from military service, Kim So-hyun is suddenly abducted to the world of Hell Plane. After many twists and turns, he managed to reach the peak of the Hell Plane. However, all the anguish he had experienced during his 10 years in the Hell Plane left him in despair. 77. Bug player, genres, action, adventure, comedy, fantasy. If I can success, it's okay to use bugs or any possible way. A story of reincarnated ultra-high obesity young lord. '76. Solo login. Genres, action, adventure, fantasy, supernatural. 11-year-old Jung Si-woon never had any friends because there was nothing interesting about him. He lived an average life as an average person in an average world. But suddenly the Earth faced a great change when mysterious floating sky castles appeared. The sky castles granted some people wings and powers, but unfortunately Si-woon wasn't none of them. '75. Capture the golem and escape poverty. Genres, action, adventure, fantasy. Who knew that the game I designed for fun with my friends in middle school would later become a monster that would swallow up the entire world? Tae-jun, who has been living a third life with his younger sister, loses all what he saved due to Alice's fraud. In despair, he curses to hell with his fucking world while looking at Namsen, but the next day the curse came true. '74. Slave B. Genres, action, adventure, fantasy, shonen, webtoons, manhwa. This is a world whose peace was destroyed by the Shadow Lord, Sesnum. Nero is a half-elf, half-human boy who lost his parents as a baby and was adopted by a slave couple. In this world, slaves are not treated as humans. Sans Nicholas, adoptive parents are slaves, they are mistreated and eventually lose their lives. '73. Skeleton Soldier couldn't protect the dungeon. Genres, action, adventure, fantasy, supernatural, tragedy, webtoons. His only purpose was to protect his master, and yet he was powerless to protect her. But fate has more in store for him if he gets another chance to protect his master once more and change his destiny. '72. Tower of God. Genres, action, adventure, comedy, drama, fantasy, mystery, psychological, shonen, supernatural, webtoons, manhwa. The storyline centers around a boy called 25th Bam that has spent his life trapped beneath a tower that was mysterious. Chasing after his only friend as he attempts to locate his company, he managed to open a door to the tower and must face challenges at every floor of the cryptic tower. 71. The Dark Magician transmigrates. Diablo Wolfil, a mighty magician, was sealed for aeons due to the shims of the 20 gods, but many years have passed since that, and he descends to Earth once again. 70. Dark Star Emperor. Genres: Action, Yechi, Fantasy, Harem, Shonen. Su was on the brink of death. He was brought into a new world. The soul of the strongest evolver, King of Stars, Long Min, now inhabits his body. Therefore, he has acquired an extremely powerful ability, the endlessness of time. The only drawback is that if Su ever gets a boner, he will experience severe pain. However, when he will have found the murderer of Long Min and ascend the throne of Protoss Palace, this weakness will disappear. 69. Regressor Instruction Manual. Genres: Adventure, Fantasy, Martial Arts, Romance, Shonen. He was suddenly summoned to another world one day. Monsters poured out, a huge disaster incoming. His ability is the lowest. Player's level is low. Your level is hopeless. It doesn't matter whether you the chosen warrior, a talented wizard, or someone who traveled back in time. One must do everything they can in order to survive. The Regressor's instruction manual: it doesn't matter if I'm trash. Is there anyone who wouldn't do anything they could to survive? 68. From the Grave and Back. Genres: Adult, Drama. Hey, don't get confused. I've never thought of you as my little brother. You don't even know your right place. That was a dagger that hurts the most. Han Myung-woo, a child of wealthy family with a quick mind, but God didn't give him everything. A near incurable genetic heart disease. He did his best in order to earn the respect of the people around him. But his father, the chairman, and his family members never took him seriously. That was when an accident suddenly struck him, and he woke up in the body of the severely injured student Kim Chol-min. 67. Return of the Flowery Mountain Sect. Genres: action, adventure, fantasy, martial arts, shonen. Chung-Myung, the disciple of the manhua sect, one of the three great swordsmen, Plum Blossom Sword Saint, defeated Chun-Ma, who was brought destruction and misery onto the world. After the battle, he breathed his last breath on top of the headquarter mountain of the Heavenly Demon sect. He is reborn after 100 years in the body of child. What? The manhua sect has fallen? What kind of nonsense is that? '66. Iron Ladies. Genres: action, comedy, ecchi, harem, sci-fi, seinen. University graduate Mu Seun sent his resume to the Starfleet on a whim and somehow became the fleet admiral. This is a story about an admiral with a harem of 3,000 female soldiers conquering the universe. 65. Pearl is Dead. Genres: action, comedy, drama, fantasy, martial arts, slice of life, webtoons. It's an amazing story about one martial arts journey toward marriage, fatherhood, and battles. 64. Lightning Degree. Genres: action, adventure, fantasy, martial arts, shonen, webtoons. Ryu Yen lost his father to a disease when he was only 10 years old. With the skills he learned from his father, he could carve wood into wonderfully intricate sculptures. One day, after competing the sculptures of his parents, Ryu Yen was greeted by an elderly man who was impressed by his sculptures. 63. Return of the Disaster Class Hero. Genres: action, adventure, fantasy. 62. Holding in Hell. Genres: action, adventure, fantasy, webtoons, manhua. Kang Hyumo is a dirt poor man whose dreams of becoming a hunter were torn apart. But one day, while he was dreaming of getting rich quick, something appeared in front of him. 61. Lanke Guian Genres: Action, Adventure, Fantasy, Martial Arts. Leaves fell on the chess game by the side of Rotten Ke and the old dress played against each other due to the uninteresting sun of Tian Yuan, and then looked back on the vast mountains and seas. When he woke up, Ji-yun became a half-blind beggar. In a dilapidated mountain temple, the sword, the sacred stick, and 1 month are the foundation for Ji-yun to settle down in his terrible world. Return to player. Genres: Action, Fantasy. One day, the world became a game. Monsters are suddenly appearing and killing humans, and humans have become players and must fulfill quests. A player that was given a second chance after the fall of mankind, Kim Si-han. Will he able to beat the system that made the world into a mess? How to live a civilian. Genres: Action, Adventure, Fantasy, Mystery, Psychological, Supernatural, Tragedy. You have been chosen as a player in the great game to select the next god's successor, the mission. Congratulations! Seon-kon has suddenly fallen into another world to participate in a game to becoming a god. This other world, that is akin to that of a game, contains players who cooperate and also kill each other in cold blood. Murium Login. Genres: Action. An era where hunters thrive on hunting monsters that come from gates. Jin Tae-kyung is a low-rank hunter who picks up a VR machine and accidentally logs into the game, which is set in the world of martial arts. Kill the hero. Genres: Action, Adventure, Fantasy. One day, the world transformed into a game. Dungeons and monsters immigrate in the middle of cities and the players who had received the gods. Authority appeared. Sejun Lee, the guild master of the Machine Guild that will bring salvation to the world. Let us save the world together. Let's put an end to the nightmare. And whole world celebrated the hero's appearance, and I became his comrade. 56. Player from today onwards. Genres: action, adventure, shonen. This comic is about hunters who are born from the backing of sponsors. Among those hunters, the 12 brightest heroes proclaimed themselves as gods, found in Eden. '55. Super God Gen. Genres: action, drama, sci-fi, shonen, manhua. Based on an adaptation from the author's novel 12 Manga Dark Seraph. In the future, countless beasts will invade. As you able to Jane Ketan genus from devouring the flesh of beasts. Humankind welcomed an era of genetic evolution. '54. Monster Pet Evolution. Genres: action, comedy, fantasy, harem. The world experienced a cataclysm and monsters are now roaming the earth. Born out of a necessity to subjugate these monsters, this new era saw the rise of a new profession: monster trainers, individuals who conquer, cultivate, and raise these monsters. Thus begins the story of Gao Peng, an ambitious young man with dreams of his own who gets launched right into the golden age of monster cultivation. Number 53. I became the male lead's adopted daughter. Genres: comedy, drama, fantasy, romance. '52. The World After the Fall. Genres: action, adventure, drama, fantasy, webtoons, manhwa. Humans were suddenly summoned to become walkers, and they needed to clear the tower to save the world. Then the regression stone was discovered. Walkers could now return to the past, and slowly everyone left. '51. Strongest Antimatter. Genres: adult, adventure, fantasy, martial arts. Scamming all day, every day, often venturing alone, he bluffs to get the ultimate power in this cultivation world. World travel, QQ doesn't always bluff, but he needs to. '50. Metropolitan System. Genres: action, adventure, comedy, harem, martial arts, supernatural. (49) Greatest boss system: genres, action, adventure, fantasy. Who is he? Why is he called the boss? Maybe he's the fearless ruler of the world, or maybe the worst enemy of humanity. Who tears wall down? After Susin was reborn, he lost all his skills and abilities from former life in the Knight's world. However, a newly implanted system can help him restore them. My name is Susin, where Sin means promise keeper. (48) A boy who has been reincarnated twice spent peacefully as an SS rank adventure. Genres: action, adventure, comedy, harem, shonen. Used to be a hero, and before that a sage, Lex has reincarnated again. This time he just wants to be a normal adventurer. (47) The constellation that returned from hell. Genres: action, adventure, sci-fi, shonen, webtoons, manhwa. I returned from hell after hundreds of years to save humanity. (46) Escort agency of the apocalypse. Genres: action, adventure, fantasy. The world came to an end, and cities became ruins. All living creatures had undergone another evolution and became monsters across the world. Mankind was forced to build base town to survive, and escorts who possessed various abilities to deal with monsters and beasts became an important existence in the New World Connection human settlements. (45) Martial Peak. Genres: action, adventure, fantasy, historical, martial arts. The journey to the Martial Peak is a lonely, solitary, and long one. In the face of adversity, you must survive and remain unyielding. Only then can you break through and continue on your journey to become the strongest. Sky Tower tests its disciples in the harshest ways to prepare them for this journey. One day, the lovely sweeper, young Kai, managed to obtain a black book, setting him on the road to the peak of the Marshal's world. (44) I am a god of medicine. Genres: action, comedy, harem. He studied medicine in the prefecture and eventually became a god of medicine. A hapless dick can be hell because of an accident. She embarrasses the judge's big thick legs, learns from ancient famous doctors, learned magical medicine, and eventually becomes a generation of gods of medicine. '43 Superhuman Era, Genres, Action, Fantasy, School Life, Shonen, Supernatural, Webtoons, Manhua. Unknown monsters have appeared on Earth, alongside superhumans who appear to dispatch them. With these mysterious monsters and superhumans, a new superhuman era begins. '42 Cultivation the Supreme Tension, Genres, Action, Adventure, Fantasy, Martial Arts, Mystery. He gets transferred to a new world, in the body of a Son of God. He gets a system that gives him tasks and rewards. '41 Peerless Martial Spirit, Genres, Action, Comedy, Fantasy, Martial Arts, Webtoons. Peerless Martial Spirit in the continent of Long May. Thousands of clans stand tall, countless sects exist, and cultivation is this way of life. The strong can't do anything, they want well, the weaklings live like ants. Youngster Cheng Fong has an incomplete Dan region, causing him to be unable to cultivate. He withstood countless sneers directed at him until he obtained a mysterious dragon bloodline, breaking out of his cocoon and opening a new chapter to this life. '40 Throne of the Dragon King, Genres, Action, Historical. A transmigration out of the blue, and he had reincarnated as the eldest crown prince of the Eastern Dragon Palace, our fan. He had to inherit the Eastern Dragon Palace and become the next Eastern Dragon King. At the time of the crisis, our fan discovered the existence of the system and activate it, which brings him lot of items and points. Deities killing one another, fighting anyone I meet on the way. I'll defeat anyone who refuses to comply with me. He swore to lead the Dragon Clan to rise again and counted for hegemony among the divine investitures. Number 39 First Class Servant, Genres, Action, Comedy, Martial Arts, Webtoons. Have you seen a servant who is more arrogant than noble? Have you seen a servant who is more arrogant than a monk? Have you seen a servant who is more domineering than an emperor? Have you ever seen a servant who hooked up with her own lady? Have you ever seen a servant who is in trouble within the alluring city? Is a modern man who Fang has always been intoxicated with wine and moon, and has become a dog and horse, but because of an accident he has reborn into another world, and he has become a servant. Mazin with MC Xiao's family, changing up with the rich ladies, such thousands achieve a generation of family. '38 Infinite Leveling, Muri, Genres, Action, Adventure, Comedy, Fantasy, Martial Arts, Shonen. Killed on the battlefield without glory to his name, Yosang-dan receives an opportunity to grow stronger with a strange quest and level system, but each quest he's forced to fight only seems to be getting harder and harder. Can he level up or not to avoid the same miserable ending and become the powerful hero he wishes to be? '37 Star Martial God Technique, Genres, Action, Adventure, Drama, Fantasy, Harem, Martial Arts, Romance, Seinen, Manhua. '36 Becoming the Kingsman, Genres, Cooking, Drama, Fantasy, Historical, Romance, Supernatural. Hailed as the number one host with the most gracious voice, I fell down the stage after being chased by a fanboy who was after me to confess his love, and now I transmigrated into a prostitute. But I am a straight, and now I must do things with this man in front of me? My back? Wait, what? As this whole world's man are after my body? Well, I mean, since the start of this story is already like this, so I guess I will have to just free myself. '35 The Master of Martial Arts, Retired Life, Genres, Action, Adult, Adventure, Comedy, Martial Arts, Shonen, Webtoons. Starting today, I retire, but what should I do? I don't have any talents, and I don't have the brains for business. My only talent is to defeat enemies all over the world. What a pain. '34 King of Martial Arts, Genres, Action, Adventure, Fantasy, Supernatural, Manhua. Being kicked out by the sect, being humiliated by fellows, and being alienated by my lover. None of those could stop me, even if my inner power pool is broken. Wait, when I reached the top and became the king of martial arts, the God Warrior King. 33. SS Class Suicide Hunter. Genres: action, adventure, comedy, drama, fantasy, martial arts, psychological, seinen, supernatural, webtoons, manhua. I want an S-rank skill too. I want it so badly. I could die for it. "32. My wife is a demon queen. Genres: adventure, fantasy, romance, webtoons." Listen up, folks. I'm living my life with the demon queen. "31. Kingdom. Genres: action, adult, adventure, comedy, drama, historical, martial arts, romance." Millions of years have passed since the times of legends, when the worlds of men and gods were still the same. In these times, it was the desires of man that moved the world. The Macrocosm Era. Genres: action, adventure, sci-fi. Space voyage, time travel, and mechanical technology to explore the unknown starry sphere. After Doomsday, mankind adventures into the universe. In the unexplored world, the power of space adapters is awakened, beginning the Macrocosm Era. "29. Reign of the Demon. Genres: action, adventure, fantasy, supernatural. An Earth-like planet, 1/4 the size of Earth, hit the Earth, triggering a worldwide disaster that caused the Earth's population to be reduced by more than half. This Earth-like planet also brought another four more powerful race of humans, the Demon race. Human civilization was forced to be the brink of the extinctions, and in the end, humans barely managed to keep the last 5 forest settlements, and the demon race became the new master of the earth. "28. It all starts with playing James seriously. Genres: action. Even an ant can make a comeback in life. If you work it hard, nothing is fated. You and I can both be a black horse. James, your world. Descended in reality, player obtains character's ability. The world has gone into chaos, hiding his intention to win but scared of dying. Liu Yi reincarnated. "27. Deadbeat Hero. Genres: action, adventure, comedy, fantasy, supernatural. Nanagnam has been a jobless deadbeat for years, leeching off his poor old mom, but one day he suddenly decides that he's going to start being a godson starting the next day. While sleeping, he wakes up from a loud noise and opens his window. But what's this? Why is there a slam in front of my house? '26. The Supreme System, Janus, Adventure, Fantasy, Webtoons. With a mysterious energy from a new system called CNN BBC. A common Earth boy got a time travel and was reborn in an alien land, where he started his journey to grab the treasure, practice the most powerful martial arts, and get to the peak of his life. 25. Supreme Demon, Janus. Action, Adventure, Fantasy, Martial Arts. '24. Night Run, Janus. Action, Adventure, Drama, Mecha, Sci-Fi, Shonen, Manhwa. In the era of space exploration, mankind is at war against monsters of unknown origin. The battle is grim and the future looks bleak. Amidst the chaos, mankind plays their last hand. It's time for the knights to step into the fray and turn the tide of this war. '23. Supreme Spirit Master, Janus. Action, Adventure, Harem. I found a strange black blade, then I also bumped into a cute girl. It changed my fate completely. It was the end of my boring and steady life, and in comes the new and exciting world. Time to fight to change my fate. '22. One Sword reigns supreme, Janus. Action, Adventure, Fantasy. The family elders, fighting for the right to exploit the mines, sent someone to crush his dension and became an abandoned son of the Year family. '21. Hungtine Supreme, Janus. Action, Adventure, Martial Arts. A ray of Randman's soul sneaked into the finger, and Lee Tenguin began the journey of recovering the real Lee family glory. '20. The Supreme Urban Heavenly Master, Janus. Action, Fantasy, Harem, Martial Arts, Supernatural. The common people only know of Liu Ban's book, but they most certainly don't know about Gongshu's book, that they are one and the same, that they can be traced to the same origin. The greatest heavenly master steps foot in the martial world. 19. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. Genres: action, adventure, fantasy, webtoons. These are developments that I know of. The moment he thought that the world had been destroyed and a new universe had unfolded, the new life of an ordinary reader begins within the world of the novel, a novel that he alone had finished. 18. Reincarnated War God. Genres: action, historical. A desperate 40-year war that has extinguished both hope and happiness. Jin Won, a man who was the god of battle, returned after living 2 lives to overturn the battle of the defeated war. 17. God of Deception. Genres: action, adventure, comedy, fantasy, shonen. It's not good to have too many vices. You may not know this, but there's a limit to the vices you can commit. Once you exceed that limit, you'll be labeled by the system as a sinner and receive punishment from the supervisors. 16. The Supreme Master. Genres: adult, adventure, fantasy, martial arts. 15. Supreme Deity. Genres: action, adventure, comedy, fantasy. Li Haifeng, a teenager, accidentally broke into the mysterious tomb when he was 8 years old. The yin and yang awakened the soul of Xion Liuhu, the owner of the tomb, and was possessed by Xion Yu Liuxu. Li Haifeng was later accepted as a disciple, 10 years later. 14. Learning magic in another world. Genres: action, fantasy, sci-fi. Ioan N, who was working on a virtual world learning machine, died in an accident and got isekai to a magical world with a learning machine, i.e. that was a sleuth in the inside but has a pure elder sister image outside. 13. I will become an immortal. Genres: action, adventure, fantasy, romance. The village boy, Han Lee, was born poor. To subsidize household expenses, he joins the sect. Because of his spiritual roots, he was accepted as a disciple by the mysterious Dr. Mo and started to practice. Twenty. The God of War. Genres: adventure, drama, fantasy, historical. In order to reverse the defeat that lasted for more than 40 years, the God of War Chen Yun was reborn and returned to 10 years before the start of the war to see how he dominated the martial arts as the second son of the Simon family, Simon Fei. 11. Monster Hunter. Genres: action, drama, fantasy, shonen, supernatural. The monsters take everything away from a boy and keep him captive as their food. He grants his dead and seeks revenge, but he cannot beat the monster with human power at the moment a monster hunter appears. Number 10. Strongest Fighter. Genres: action, adventure, fantasy. Woken up from a date, he suddenly, in a movie set, he's been reborn as a baby martial artist in Jungman clan, which was once one of the 9 strongest clans. He receives the name Gunchung and uses the knowledge of his past life to learn the true meaning of martial arts. When your perspective is different, your martial arts changes. Armed with knowledge, Gunchung brings about a new age of martial arts. Number 9. Mecha Shoukan Sireta Ken. Genres: comedy, fantasy, seinen, supernatural. Guy world class gets summoned to another world, except he's the only one was transferred to a different one. Just when he gets used to his new life, he gets summoned to another world again and again. Number 8. Otherworld Warrior. Genres: action, adventure, comedy, drama, fantasy, shonen. Would you like to find a job, even at the cost of your soul? If so, then we found the right place. Our job hunting advice website, Soul Sellers, is a site geared toward those willing to even sell their souls for employment. That's right, people like you. Are you dealing with the angels or demons? Number 7. Matchless Emperor, Janus. Action, fantasy, martial arts, webtoons. Number 6. The Immortal Emperor, Liu Wuch, has returned. Janus. Action, fantasy, romance, tragedy. Number 5. Peculiar Tales of Swords and Blades. Great heroes have been pushing deals in the central place for 5 generations. The sixth son of the Li family, in Southern Tang, Li Kongjia has his eyes set on conquering the world. Number 4. The Sword of Emperor, Janus. Action, adventure, fantasy, historical, martial arts. Easygoing skanks, a young emperor is cast out of his empire by his uncle, who seizes the throne for himself. The young emperor sets out to become the strongest among the living and take back what is rightfully his. Number 3. God Eater, The Spiral Fate, Janus. Action, adventure, fantasy, sci-fi, shonen. It's 2071, and Earth, as we know, it is in ruins, ruled by wild gods, the Aragamis. Set after half a year in the original game story, Kagami Ryu, Lorder of Far East Branches, Team 1, travels from Finland to return to what was formerly called Japan. Number 2. Cynical World, Janus. Drama, fantasy, one-shot, shoujo, shonen ai, supernatural. One-shot from Uchi no Hito, a vampire, a werewolf, and Frankenstein monster live in a castle apart from humans. And the number 1, first place, write you in the comments. Thanks for watching.